We
We're
good?
here. We swear.
We're
We're here. We swear. And now you can hear Abby. So Abby,
yeah.
sadly, she was explaining to us exactly what was going on. What's going on? What are we talking about today?
We're gonna be talking about cancel culture.
Yes.
Because 2020 has been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I would say 2020 is not really hindsight is 2020. It's more like 2020 is 2020 vision.
Oh my
Um,
God.
a lot of things are coming to light. Um, all over the place. Like there have been very big things that have uh hit communities or online communities that each of us are like in kind of like on the outer edges and stuff. And what our experiences is seeing that unfold,
Yeah.
um, along with our observations of cancel culture for things that we're not even a part of.
Yeah.
Um,
I think in the age of like since we're in the digital age, obviously, like cancel culture is I guess the easiest way to be like um I guess to cancel somebody to literally take them off the internet, which is it's a little drastic. Actually, hold on. I actually needed to pull up what cancel culture really means.
mhm.
I didn't do my homework.
Oh, well, I have it up if you'd like me to go ahead and
Yes, go
read it.
ahead.
Um, According to Google, the first thing that is pulled up for dictionary.com under pop culture, cancel culture refers to the popular practice of withdrawing support for or canceling public figures and companies after they have done or said something considered objectionable or offensive. Cancel culture is generally discussed as being performed on social media in the form of group shaming.
That's the perfect way to say it. But even though that's the technical definition, they even go
Mhm.
beyond that to actually like bully someone off the platform so that they would never ever return again, essentially.
Right,
Just to kind of wipe them off the face of the internet, which is a little extreme.
right.
So, where we're talking about today, we have different opinions is how extreme is too extreme? Is cancel
Right.
culture like does it help or does it hurt people? Is it based off of just pure emotions just because you don't like a particular person or group or company? Or is it more than that? Like is it because they actually did something? And I think there's a fine line with that.
I
So,
think there's a fine line between the true definition of cancer culture and being toxic. And I think that's just a lot of things that we, anything online based,
so
between its true definition and true actions versus when the internet gets a hold of it and turns it toxic.
agreed. Because you see especially people have this fear of cancel culture. Um especially on the internet because like when you're on the internet, it's literally there for the whole world to see, you know, your actions, what you do, what you type, everything. And in the digital age, everything is pretty much recorded. So even if you did something that was problematic years ago, it will come back to haunt you even though you're a different person and they will cancel you for it. You know, my thing is because so I have a, how do I explain it? I have a very weird view of cancel culture. I'm the kind of person who I know like people first of all I studied psychology. Let me just go ahead and say that. People are capable of change. You are not the same person. You like anyone isn't the same person they were 5 years ago, even longer 10 years ago, or even 3 years ago. You know, there could be things that happen in individual's life that would drastically change their personality, their view of the world, for better or worse, you know? So for me, it's like if you, I get, I get that if people bring up things from other people's pasts, like I guess there's a window maybe of time that, that says it. However, for me it's like I want people to grow and learn as humans. People deserve that. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, it's easy to say, "Oh, he committed this, especially if you don't know who the person is, like the individual. If you haven't been like a fan or part of a company or anything like that, right? And you go in and you're like, "Oh, you cancel this person or company or whatever," even though you don't know like if you never seen them grow. I get that. Um, One particular person I'm going to throw out there is Jenna Marbles. I love Jenna Marbles.
Mhm.
I do. I actually watched her a lot in college because when I was in college, I didn't have cable. Everything was, and YouTube was the thing, it was rising, everything like that. So I watched Jenna Marbles. And did she do, what was it? Problematic things? Yes. I will say, yeah. But she has apologized profusely as she has learned. Like, she grew as a creator. She grew, she learned. There is even a clip where because a lot of people are like, oh no, she's racist. No. In fact, there's like a clip where she discuss racism. She doesn't back down. She like opens up for people to discuss because it was, and she even has said that it's something that needed to be discussed. That is growth from what she posted on like on content wise. You know what I mean? I was so upset that people were like, cancel Jenna, cancel Jenna. I'm like, why? Just because you brought some things back from her earliest like YouTube career to now, and you just didn't like that, even though you never actually see her grow from that. That is what annoys me about cancel culture. Like,
Well, top of that, it's one of those things. It's like actions speak louder than words. She did that
oh
thing
yes,
once and has never done it again. Not only has she apologized profusely for it, she has proven with her actions that she would never do that again,
right.
unlike some internet celebrities.
Jenna, come back. Just come back. No, I understand why she left. It's also that was just like
Yeah,
a small thing, but there was also um other key things. And I think she's happier maybe. But
we just hope that she's happier.
I hope so. Jenna, come back, please. I miss you.
Um, but I would say to counter that with Jenna, that was canceled, like someone who was successfully canceled after repeatedly apologizing for the actions, actually changed her actions and never repeated the offense again in
No.
any form or fashion. We have other major, huge YouTube. Well, we're mainly going to go on
We're good. Yeah,
talk about
YouTube.
YouTube.
I mean, it's easier because, I mean, there's others as well, but YouTube.
I
We
mean,
can
there's
also
always going to be others, but
we can also talk about
there's
like,
difference between YouTuber celebrities and like Hollywood celebrities.
but I know there's one we need to talk about, but we'll get to that later.
I
Um,
would say that Shane Dawson. I know there's others,
oh
but I'm
yes.
a little more familiar with Shane Dawson, just because of his documentaries that he had been doing
Yeah.
that I lost interest in. Shane Dawson, there are reports of Shane Dawson doing very not okay jokes, I guess is the best term for it. Skits, maybe a better
Yes.
term for it.
Yes.
Um, that he keeps doing and people keep calling him out about it. He will apologize, but then like a year later would make the similar joke.
See, that's the
And he has
difference.
not. Yeah.
Right. That's why I think people bring a lot about his past actions constantly because yes, there is a period like a few years. Yes, he has grown, like he changed as a person. Let's just say instead of grown, he changed as a person. He changed his content, everything like that. However, he still continues to hold these I guess, I don't want to say problematic behaviors. That's not technically the word. It's he doesn't. He's not as. Yeah, he just keeps bringing this up. Like he keeps doing the same thing. Same with um his friend
Brute.
Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot of stuff that he said um, that is very problematic,
Mm.
like very problematic.
Well,
And
with Shane Dawson, it's jokes that shouldn't be made and aren't that funny he keeps
right,
doing. Jeffree Star is actually, I will
problematic.
allow you to go into that since you are more of a makeup person than I ever am.
No, no, it's interesting. The only reason why I know of Jeffree Star is because of my cousin, who is a makeup artist. You know,
Yeah.
and she watches a lot of the. She was the one who got me into like the makeup drama, makeup guru drama, and stuff.
Mm,
And I will talk about like the Jeffree Star and what was it? James Charles thing.
mhm.
I was caught up in that. I will say I said that, oh goodness, like James Charles, like with Jeffree Star claiming James Charles was a predator, okay? And I was like caught up in the drama. Everyone was talking about, oh no, he's a predator. There was all these other adults, and this is what changed my mind. There were these adults because Jeffree Star is over 30, I think, and Tati Westbrook, I think her name is, who is also an adult. They're all adults, and fucking Shane Dawson, he's a fucking adult, okay, in their 30s, right? Who was bullying, and I say bullying because it's true. James Charles, who was a young adult, but at the time when all these allegations were coming out, he was a teenager, right? And they were calling this guy predator and all these terrible names, and it and I believed it. I believed it. I was like, "Oh, these adults know what they're doing, because they're like, "Oh, we want him to grow and become a better person." It wasn't until James shared his side of the story and other people are like, "Well, he was a kid, he was a teenager when all this happened. He's doing his best cuz he created his own business, making makeup and stuff like that. And he thrived. And hearing how the adults were actually the bullies instead of the other way around really changed my perspective on those people. But around that time, around the time of the whole makeup guru thing everyone knows about, everyone was like, hashtag cancel, what's it? Or Jeffree Star is canceled. Hashtag James Charles is canceled. Or hashtag blah blah is canceled. It flooded my Twitter timeline. Like it flooded that shit. And I'm like, what? Like what? And of course, no, none of them got canceled, obviously. They never left the platform. Well, of course they left the platform for a break and stuff, which for James Charles's case, he needed it because that was so much for a young adult to take.
Mhm.
So I get that. However, when that situation started dying down and James Charles is trying to pick up his life back,
Mhm.
Jeffree Star, another, he's an adult, tried to cancel him again by bringing his name up in a podcast and stuff, never once apologizing for what they did. So what did the internet do? They tried to cancel Jeffree Star again. But at this point, I felt like that was justified because he wouldn't lay this to rest. He kept bringing out this drama for his own benefit, despite the he just I just people were trying to move on from that. They really were. Or like the people involved, right? So, and then Tati explained that, oh no, it was Jeffree Star who started all this, all that, whatever. It just, man, it made my head ache. It
Mhm.
just, oh my God. And I'm just like, these kids want to cancel. No one's going to cancel Jeffree Star. He's not going to be canceled because he has power and influence. And
Well,
when you
I don't think he would be able to be canceled in the traditional cancel culture kind of way because he's just too popular. He's too powerful. He has too much influence in social networking.
I would say yes, but also when this came out, Shane Dawson's past came out again. So people were,
Mm.
because he was associated with them, they started bringing up Shane Dawson's past and recent past as well, you know?
Yeah.
And they actually canceled him. He hasn't been making content for months, I believe. So,
Hmm.
like, he really hasn't, like, there is hints that he is going to try and come back slowly, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like he's kind of just fallen off the face of the earth. So, I guess in a sense they did cancel Shane Dawson, but I guess because Jeffree Star is so powerful that it's impossible to cancel him. I guess there's just a, like you said, he holds a lot of influence and such, connections and such. So yeah, I can see that. But I I brought up the whole Jeffree Star, James Charles, whatever stuff because I saw how it affected James Charles, the young adult, and his life. Like it almost ruined him. And he was, of course, I'm not saying he's 100% innocent, but
Right.
he didn't deserve that. He really didn't. Especially with a creator who has built up a business like that, as a teenager, paving the way for beauty gurus everywhere. It's just, and everyone jumped the gun before they actually knew the truth, right? Or whatever the version of the truth is, right? And I saw a lot of people apologizing or like, oh shit, I was tricked. I didn't know this or that about the real situation, James Charles, Tati, all that stuff. But it didn't matter because they were so quick to judge a year ago this person just to cancel it because of the drama aspect, you know?
Yeah.
It that to me is like a good example of why cancel culture is very much an emotional thing. People are they bring up these bad things so that you would be angry at this person so quickly and are quick to judge. And we're like, nope, I don't want to listen to it. He's canceled, done. You know. And in the internet, you're never going to get the full scope of everything. You're just not. Because there's like, was it 3 sides to every story? That was like, what was it, their truth, the other person's truth, and the actual truth? And it's just like, you're never going to get the full story. You're just not. Not on the internet like that. No. Ugh. So, again, I have a love hate relationship with cancel culture. I do think it could be beneficial for some people, but
Yeah.
mostly it's just very emotionally driven. And then if you don't cancel a particular person, let's say you actually want to listen in to what they have to say or you want to wait and see what else comes out, and you don't cancel the person, around that time, then you're going to be hated for it. And I'm just like, no. It's it drives me crazy sometimes how emotional people get and like just straight up cancel a person without really knowing. You know what I mean? Like the full scope of everything. Ugh, it just gives me a headache thinking about it. But yeah, that's that story, at least for those YouTubers. Uh, and it sucks because people like Jenna Marbles, who are good people, who did change throughout the years, still got canceled for something that happened in her past that she never again did. Ever.
Like Jeffree Star, though. I like Jeffree
Unlike
Star.
Jeffree Star, who keeps doing problematic things. It just,
He'll pick fights with other influencers. and other content creators, and he has been known to use very racial slurs against people,
Yes. And
along with
it
other
hasn't
things.
stopped. And then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I promise I won't ever like be involved in drama and whatever." Nope. It's like a repeated cycle that I'm just like, ugh, this is exhausting. I really just don't want to be able to keep up with that guy anymore. Like, oh my gosh, it's exhausting. Heaven
Um,
forbid. You were saying?
like it's just one of those things. It's like action speaks louder than words, but no one wants to wait long enough to see the action. If that makes sense,
That
they
makes a lot of
want.
sense.
So it's like clearly Jenna Marbles over the years has shown with her actions that she does not want to repeat um the I think my understanding from you, because I don't follow Jenna Marbles, is that it was a failed joke. That she tried to make a
Yes.
joke and it failed and it was in really, really poor taste. And she understood that after the fact,
Right.
reflected upon it, did stuff like that, and never chose to do anything like that again. She walked completely away from that kind of humor.
Jenna Marbles is
While,
like,
again, Shane Dawson, Jeffree
oh,
Star, they don't do it. They go back to
no.
it over and over and over again. And that,
And it takes one person to keep bringing it up for the drama, for the sake of drama, to promote his
mhm,
makeup line, that it affected his other two friends. Like he dragged people down. And guess who still comes out of top? Jeffree
Jeffree
Star.
Star.
hmm
Um,
I personally do not like. I'm just gonna straight up say it. I don't know if you could tell by my story.
mm,
I don't like Jeffree Star. I don't. Um, because it's so blatant to see that a lot of the drama he causes is to promote his makeup so he could stay relevant. You know what I mean? And this is again just my opinion. I should say
your opinion?
my
What's your
opinion.
opinion?
Any attention, it's like there are some people who say any attention is good attention. So
Mhm.
negative or positive attention is good attention for him. And it gets to a point where like there are some people who love who strive off of having that kind of drama, you know, who live just to have like the tea spilled and everything, right? And just so they can like have a taste of what like, oh, the drama. Duh, we're human. We love drama and gossip and shit. However, it gets to a point where there needs to be a stop, a stopping point where people need to be held for their actions, not just so they for the drama's sake, but because they need to be actually held for their actions. Do I think cancel culture is good for that? Not necessarily. Yes or no. It's just another actual celebrity we were talking about, you and I, was the whole. I was gonna say Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny
And
Depp.
so Johnny, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's fine. It's good. You mean
Johnny.
Tim Burton's main go-to actor?
Yes.
Yes, him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would definitely say that Johnny Depp is a major victim of cancel culture.
So I talked about Jeffree Star. Do you want to talk about Johnny Depp?
I could talk a little bit about
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Go ahead.
I don't remember the full timeline of everything because I'm really bad with, especially after 2020. I'm sure everyone can
Oh,
understand
time is
that. It's like
irrelevant
2020
in
has felt like
2020.
5 years by at this
Yes.
point. So I'm like, we'll just do like a really rough timeline because
Yeah.
I cannot give y'all dates.
It hasn't hit me yet that we're only on the last 3 months of the year, and it's going to be the longest 3 months of the year. Like,
Right?
damn.
This is like, gonna be another 6 years.
Oh, good lord. I was ready for it to be over. But yeah, so sorry, go
Same.
continue. Johnny Depp.
So Johnny Depp, a lot of people would know him for, as you said, Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There are 5 of them. Um, they're they may know him from smaller works. I know he's been in a ton of stuff. And like Sweeney Todd, Sleepy Hollow, like some of the things that are just off the top of my head. Any and every single Tim Burton movie there has ever
He's
been ever.
iconic.
I
Iconic actor.
I may not be able to give this full story unbiased because I really do love Johnny Depp. I do think he comes across as a very, very sweet person. His body language and energy that he provides in behind the scenes stuff and interviews, he always seems very genuine and very sweet. Um but so I guess at this point it's probably been a couple of years, several years at this point. I think maybe 3 or 4 years that reports were coming out from his wife that Johnny Depp was beating her and hitting her.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't remember the full story at this point because it's been like 5 years in 2020. Um, he She kept saying that he would hit her, would give accusations about it, say that there
Yeah.
were eyewitnesses, but it would be basically the personal bodyguards for them because they are both him and Amber Heard, his wife, are pretty big name celebrities or used to be really big name celebrities. So obviously they would have to have some kind of personal security.
Yeah.
She would claim that, oh, the bodyguard would see Johnny hit her.
Yeah.
And like she claimed to have recordings of him hitting her and things like that. And that caused a lot of people to like back up Amber Heard and support her and like
Right.
cancel Johnny. Like Johnny Depp was going to continue doing Captain Jack Sparrow and Pirates of the Caribbean movies as long as he was physically able to. He would probably be 90 years old and just rolling around in a wheelchair as Captain Jack Sparrow. He has said that he would continue to do it as long as he could. He loves doing it. He
I was
would
about to
go,
say, you can't see anybody else do it. That's the thing. Nobody else can
right.
play him so well. Like
No,
nobody. I can't think
never.
of anyone.
Johnny Depp would actually go to children's hospitals dressed up as Captain Jack and would visit the children as Captain Jack. There are rumors that it's either in Disneyland or Disney
It's
World.
Disneyland, I think.
That's what I'm thinking because it's in California.
Yeah,
He
it's
would
easier.
dress up as Captain Jack Sparrow and be the extra Captain Jack Sparrow on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride because there are supposed to only be 3 animatronics of Captain Jack Sparrow, but on occasion there will be a 4th one that appears, and that is supposed to be Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp is
He
a good man. Well,
he is.
I will say
Well,
though, not
yeah.
to say that he like those things that he was accused of didn't happen, because he even admitted that it did.
Right, he did hit her at one point.
Yes.
But his full story with that is that it was in self-defense.
Exactly. I was about to say he did it in self-defense.
He did it in self-defense, and then recently, I do think it was this year, at the start of this year, if again, it's like I think it's 2020, I don't know, that reports were finally coming out that Amber Heard lied.
A lot.
Like
Oh
a
my
lot.
God.
Like there
It
was
turns out-
evidence that Johnny was bringing forward, that Johnny had the other security members actually come forward and testify. I was about to say not like support Johnny, but just like testified period on what was happening inside the house and behind closed doors. And there's a lawsuit from Johnny against Amber Heard.
I see.
And I can tell you, I remember seeing a lot of people that I clearly remember were basically canceling Johnny Depp when all this was coming out from Amber
Yeah.
Heard. Suddenly, like, pull her from Aquaman, like, get rid of her,
Cancel
kick her out of
her.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's so quick to turn, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from one person to another, but it irked me because Amber tried her best to use the public to cancel without fully giving all the information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny was the one in the background actually like compiling actual evidence, you know, to get a case in from her because straight up trigger warning, she was an abuser. She was an abusive girlfriend or wife. Girlfriend? They were dating, right? Wife.
I know they were married.
Okay, so she was incredibly abusive to Johnny. And it takes a lot because like as a victim of no, I'm not a victim of abuse, just straight up. But a victim of abuse, it takes a lot for them to actually make their case, to be brave enough to come forward. And
Mm-hmm.
for a man to, straight up say, I was a victim of abuse, it's even harder. It's just harder because nobody believes that, oh, no, a woman can't do this to them or no. No, men can be victims of abuse. And
I was about to say, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when Amber Heard was like releasing these like audios and stuff and were coming forward about it, a lot of people like I think I remember hearing it from Amber, I think I remember hearing it from Johnny, I think I remember hearing it from like celebrity interviewers like E! News or whatever.
Yeah.
That they were like saying it's like, oh, Johnny's claiming that he did hit her, but it was in self-defense, and nobody was listening to that.
Nobody. Mm-mm.
Nobody. And that was at the start of all of this. This
Right.
isn't like after the counter lawsuit came forward.
Right. And everyone was like so quick to jump the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and eventually people tried to cancel Johnny Depp, and I'm saying again, as a victim, not as a victim of abuse, but him as a victim of abuse, took his time, actual compiled evidence to go forward with it. That's very brave of him.
Yeah.
And a lot of we're just impatient. We're impatient people, as humans. We're just, as a group of humans, we are impatient. We want everything now, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when Johnny's story came forward, it shocked everyone, especially those who did believe Amber's story at first. And I think because they were duped to thinking a certain way, their anger was so much more anger for her than Johnny. And I remember there was a lot of even male celebrities who come up, saying stuff about male abuse, or male victims of abuse. And I was like, this is very important. We need to actually take a step back, analyze the situation. This is very important, right? And when his story came out, not a lot of people actually heard it, which, people tried to get the word out. I was one of them. I was like, have you heard about this? Because I really love Johnny Depp. And they're like, I don't think she's going to be in the new Aquaman. I'm pretty sure her career is absolutely ruined because now this is legal. They're taking legal steps to fix this, which completely changes the game. Once there are actual legal steps to take into this, that's a whole different ballgame. You just don't it's not just cancel culture by that point. It's legit, like, people are going to jail for this, right? And I feel like that, in that sense, it helped.
Yeah.
It hurt Johnny very
Right.
much. Not gonna lie. Cancel culture hurt him so badly in the eye of the
Absolutely.
public. But in turn, it helped, especially when people are like, oh no, this is the real evidence. Oh no, they're actually taking this to court. Oh no, all this stuff. They started believing the actual truth, not just words. And I don't know if it hurt him or helped him. I don't know what would be better or worse. Because you can easily change the public's mind, obviously.
Yeah.
It was just so easily changed. So I don't know if that helped or hurt, if cancel culture helped or hurt him in that sense. Because it did both. It really did. Um, I just wanted it to be like, I mean, after that situation, after many situations actually, I'm trying to, as a individual, trying to wait and see what other things come out about a particular celebrity or influencer or, anything before jumping the gun. Because a lot of people jump the gun for the sake of, oh, look at this drama. I need to drink this shit up. You know what I mean?
Look at this tea.
Yes, let's drink the tea without
So
really
we
taking into account what the truth could possibly be.
Right. So we've seen where cancel culture um, will not let an individual go, like Jenna Marbles. We see where cancel culture can be used as a weapon with Jeffree Star. We have seen cancel culture not work with Shane Dawson,
Yeah.
or
Well, no,
it
Jeffree
wasn't
Star.
working for the longest time with Shane Dawson. Um, but yes, it cancel culture does not work on Jeffree Star. We see and that's all YouTube or internet celebrities. We've seen cancel culture unfold um against two Hollywood celebrities.
Right.
Do you
Yes.
want to go into the more serious conversations? What really sparked us choosing to talk about cancel culture
That's
today?
entirely up to you.
Um, well, the reason I'm asking is because in the sequences of what's happened in 2020, your fandom occurred
Oh,
first.
yes, I will get into that, but first we need to talk about your fandom
Okay. We can talk
because
about my fandom since it is the most recent one,
it
and
is
it
the
is
most it's the most recent and mine is still like there's still a
yours
lot
is
going
kind of
on.
in a hiatus until legal action has taken.
Yes,
Mine
but
is still kind of unfolding.
yes. So this is what's so important. That's why I want to talk about yours before we talk to mine. Like we segue into
Right.
mine. But go
Okay.
ahead.
That but that is why I wanted to double check with you which one we wanted to do first.
Yeah, we can do yours first. We can compare the two like we've done at work, so.
Um this is a little hard for me to talk about. And just the fact that it's like I'm trying to be very reserved about my opinions publicly. Like I can talk to Ricey privately and give her my full, uncensored, unfiltered, very angry and emotional
Opinion.
reaction to
I was about to say,
this.
this is What's Your Opinion podcast. Okay, we are
Right.
going to strong like if you want,
we got some opinions. We
listen.
some women. We
I was
got
about
some
to say,
opinions.
if you want me to start with my fandom, I'll go straight up because I have opinions for sure, and I'm not like it was hard for
Well,
me as well, but I'll
right.
fucking straight up say it
I
if you want me to
know.
start. If you want me to start,
Um,
or do you want to start? I'm down. Like I'm still heated, but
I might need you a little, your just some help, just making sure I stay motivated to get through this because it's like, again, I'm just reserving judgment.
of
Like I
course,
have my
yes.
opinions, but I am reserving judgment, actual judgment. Um, the reason why it's like we have our own fandoms is because what we're about to talk about is I am a fan of Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. I've been a fan of them for many years because my husband brought me into it early on in our relationship and introduced me to them. I love the Achievement Hunter guys. I always thought they were very funny. I really like their dynamics. Each person had their own reason why I love them. It's like there's Jeff, he's the asshole. There's Jack, who's the sweetheart and kind of like the the sweet uncle of the group. There's Gavin, who's a little shit that gets into everything. There's Michael, that he's just angry. He's your like flaming bowl of anger kind of emote that you have on your channel right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There was Ray, who was the good player and was sassy as hell. And then there's Ryan, and he was just like the weird, kind of crazy one, but not like clinically crazy. He just that was his persona. He would be crazy.
Right.
And it was nice watching them like do things and interact and everything like that. I don't know, like I do know from secondhand stories and your bowl of anger.
That's me all the time.
All the time. I do know that a lot of this started on 4chan.
Yes.
And that within Rooster Teeth, under the umbrella of Rooster Teeth, Ryan Haywood of Achievement Hunter and Adam Kovic from Funhouse had nudes leaked. And with Adam Kovic, there was a sex video with his wife leaked. And then there were reports. Again, I haven't read the 4chan thing. I've read secondhand information. It all kind of lines up to basically say that with Ryan Haywood, because again, I'm an Achievement Hunter fan. I don't really care about Funhouse. I think the guys seem very sweet. It's just not my content kind of information, like cup of tea.
Yeah.
But with the 4chan accusations and claims is that Ryan Haywood was sexting and swapping sexual pictures with fans.
Yo.
Mainly female fans. Allegedly, it started with the 4chan was claiming that Ryan Haywood was doing this with minors.
Yeah.
Claiming that he is a pedophilia. Or a pedo.
Right.
I got opinions about pedophilia and hebophilia. There's a big difference between the two, and we can get to that after the story. But this was coming forward. It was boiling over on 4chan. It somehow made its way onto Twitter. And how I found out all of this was when our friend Chelsor the Destroyer sent me a screen cap of Ryan Haywood's tweet saying that he has made a mistake and that he would be leaving Rooster Teeth to focus on rebuilding his family. And like how he had worded it, and that's paraphrasing what he had tweeted. How he had worded it made me instantly realize it's like basically he had cheated on his wife.
Right.
And if he's leaving Rooster Teeth, it was probably with a fan.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So I start digging into it. This was Tuesday when this happened. This was Tuesday evening, probably about 5:30. Probably closer to 6, really. And I start reading into it. He had comments turned off on that tweet, so I was looking at the retweets and seeing what people were saying, reading into the threads about the retweets, and getting into that, reading it, and things like that. I even installed Reddit onto my phone and started, because I know that with Rooster Teeth, especially Achievement Hunter, with Michael and Jeremy, and I think even Jeff and Jack and Ryan, all of them were like really active on Reddit. They've always been really active on Reddit. Reddit wasn't really my cup of tea. Now it
Right,
is
right,
because
right.
I like, oh yeah, I could read all these comments and stuff. It's
Yeah.
Reddit, you read it. So I've gotten into Reddit, I've gotten into the Achievement Hunter subreddit or subreddit, I guess is the proper term for it.
Yeah.
For Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. I over the past several days, like you've seen it because I'm just like, well, here's more information, more information, more
Right. Yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah. And like it's
Uh,
like you said, it's still a developing story. It is like there's still more information coming out. Um I
because I
will
think
go ahead.
Wednesday, no, I think Tuesday night, I found the first girl that had come forward and released a video on YouTube about her
Hmm.
story and interaction with Ryan Haywood.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was Wednesday evening or Thursday morning that I came across on Reddit a written account of the second woman. Um,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
and I told you Friday that I had come across the third account from
Right.
a girl.
Yeah, yes. I haven't seen that one though. Cuz it's another
Neither I
video,
haven't
right?
finished it. Yeah, I did send it to you. I haven't finished it, and it's I've seen a lot of people disappointed with Ryan. I've seen people full on hate Ryan. I see people full on just like numb. Like all of Achievement Hunter has now had some kind of reaction release on Twitter. Some of
Right.
them have talked about it in their streams that they do because they are gamers. They do stream online. They each have their own kind of stream account,
Yeah.
not just the Achievement Hunter or Let's Play
Yeah,
account.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and it's also apparently people were doxing Ryan Haywood's family
Family. Yeah, which makes no
between,
sense.
right, it doesn't. So it was after the release of 4chan and before Ryan made his statement on Twitter. It's when I guess the doxing was occurring.
Doxing is just a shitty thing to do. There is really no reason for anyone to do it. Like,
Right.
ugh. Oh my god, I can go on and on about fucking doxing. Just don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Period.
Yeah.
There really
So,
is no reason to do that. Like, ugh. Mm. Don't do
because his
that.
family's innocent. Like,
Oh yeah, no, his family's
there's
completely innocent. Like, they're
there's
the
no
victims in
exception.
this. That's the thing. Whoever's the out of all of the quote unquote people who say they're victims, his family is the victim in all of this, which is why he's like, I need to rebuild my family. Because he fucking tore that shit apart. That's on him. Well, I'm sorry. That's on him. Or
There
his
no
family.
I mean,
And
yeah,
others, obviously, but mostly it's his family. Like he did, again, just my opinion. And this is coming, let me just go ahead and say it. I have an unbiased opinion just because I have never like I've seen Achievement Hunter, but I'm not really a fan. I do like Rooster Teeth's stuff, like shows, but it's like their shows. Like I watched
like
Red
their
versus Blue.
animations and
Yeah,
stuff like
stuff like
that.
that. That's as much Rooster Teeth as I have.
Right.
So I'm just gonna say that as I'm unbiased. So just to see the things that come out, and a man who literally just admitted, like, yes, I cheated on my wife, or there's these things going on where he fucking cheated on his wife. He damaged that family because he has kids too, right?
He has two children, and I think, like, I remember they're like the oldest, I think, is the son, and I think he might be 8 at this point. He's
So
like 7 or 8 at this point, and his daughter is 2 years younger than the son.
Right. And for me, it's like, okay, I just don't condone cheating. Don't do it. There is absolutely no reason for you to do it. And if you are unhappy or you think you're unhappy, especially if you have a family or anything, yes, it's difficult. You can either work through it as a family, just open and communicate, or you need to leave. Because doing this to your wife and kids, because it's not just his wife, it's his wife and kids he's doing this to.
And like,
Harms,
I don't know if they've like I from what I was seeing on Twitter that it was definitely his wife and children. I don't even know if it had gotten to other parts of his family.
oh,
Like, I don't know if it got to his parents or her parents or his
it doesn't matter. It's
cousin.
because his immediate family is his wife and his kids. So
Yeah.
that's what's important. His extended family, they're probably going to, talk to him about it, but he
Yeah.
damaged his immediate family. That just, and like, it irks me just to have like any married man cheat on, or any married person cheat on their spouse, man or woman. Like, just don't do it. Oh my gosh. Just
That's not to say
fucking
I
don't do it.
will like this is where I'm having to like really, really like hold my judgment, and I'm gonna like pump the brakes on you too.
Yeah.
We don't know Ryan and his wife's relationship.
Oh, true. Yes.
We don't know what is okay in their marriage and what is not. Like, I've
Yes.
met couples that are completely open. I
Yeah, I was about to say,
know of couples that are just like, you can do what you want. I don't want to know about it. Like, we don't know, but he has
yeah,
clearly stated he has made a mistake of sorts, and that's why he's having to leave Rooster Teeth to go
true.
rebuild his family.
True. Because if they have an
And it
open
could have,
relationship, then that's fine. It's you're consented with your spouse that y'all want an open relationship. That's
and it could have been that it's like the agreement. Again, this is all speculation.
yes,
Speculation. It could be that it's just like, cool, you can sleep with whoever you want. You can't do it with any of your fans.
or something, or a certain after a certain age, or
Yeah.
like before a certain age. Excuse me. Like,
Well, it's like the fact that he's having to leave Rooster Teeth, or it seems like he made the choice to leave Rooster Teeth.
yeah,
Um,
I agree. I think he did.
yeah, I think he did. I think Rooster Teeth fired Adam Kovic for reasons that we can go into, but it's one of those things that's like, I'm not a fan of Funhouse. I don't really care. I don't think you really care either about Funhouse, but like, it might have been at the very least that he was not supposed to do anything with a fan.
Right. But who knows? Again, who knows? We
Again,
will
who
not
knows? We're
actually.
not. Nope.
It's technically none of our business. So
Right.
we don't know what the workings in is between
Hmm.
his wife and everything. Like, that's really none of our business.
But he clearly has stated and admitted he has made a mistake that hurt
Yes.
his family.
However, moving on. The
No, I
reason,
want to fester in this emotion.
yeah, no, it's a lot to take in.
It is a
But
lot.
I will say,
Because
because
they're.
you made a comment about like a lot of fans being heartbroken or disappointed or angry, or numb. I have yet, like, I've seen a few angry people. However, most of it is very just disappointed, heartbroken fans, right?
Yeah.
And maybe because we're learning as people not to like super cancel culture. Well, there are still a few people who are like cancel.
Oh,
What's his
absolutely.
name? Ryan. However, a lot of them, and this is where I sing my praises. A lot of them were like, well, we don't know the full information. We need to wait until more information comes out, right? And the only information given are the alleged victims, right?
Right. Yeah. Because we have not had any statement from Ryan at all
Right.
at this point.
Yes. I will say, though, that Rooster Teeth has handled this so professionally because it isn't any of our business, again, right? They have handled it so well by not giving out a lot of information, because they could be legal trouble, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But it also allowed the fans to kind of just, I mean, obviously there's going to be fans who are going to be absolutely shattered. They will never know the full truth of everything. But this isn't just some drama channel bullshit. Like, it really isn't our business. They're going to be, and that was when the first person made her video, when that came out. And like, people ate that shit up, obviously. They made their speculations, obviously, and then it started getting a little messy, but Rooster Teeth Rooster Teeth has done what they could to kind of keep it under wraps so it wouldn't get messy. And it didn't, right? For a little bit. But then people started coming out more and more, which makes it a little bit messier. Not saying that they should keep their story to themselves. I don't think that at all. If you're a victim and you want to share your story, share your story. I think that's fine, because no one, if there is something that is problematic, it will get more attention and maybe it will help. However, the stories that have come to light all have been, we were both consenting adults. One of them, I think, was a minor, but she admitted she lied about her age.
She was 17. She claimed to have been 17 at the time she first physically met Ryan Haywood, and then lied to him about his age, about her age,
she said
to
she
be
was 18.
Mhm.
So, like, that makes it messy. That her situation makes it messy. And then the other person who came out admitted that they were both consenting adults.
She is in her late. When she met Ryan, it was in her late 20s.
Yes. So that in itself is just depending on how they view it, would be cheating, I think. But again, we don't know if there was an open relationship or not. So, but still, it's not as messy as the first person.
I was about to say, I'd like to point out what also makes this really messy and like really complicated for like a lot of fans who are trying to keep like a level-headed, mature approach to this, is that Ryan had his nudes leaked.
Oh, yes.
He is now a victim as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not a victim in his actions, but he is still technically a victim
of privacy, breach of privacy. Yep. I agree to that.
And it like a lot of it is just very, very messy.
It is a messy situation, though.
It is. And Twitter,
go ahead.
I was about to say, Twitter's kind of making it messy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, the most hate I have seen has been on Twitter, calling for blood, calling for
that's Twitter, though.
A headhunt.
Goodness, you can get super emotional in 140 characters. Like, you really could. It's Twitter. But I agree.
What I'm just gonna do is just if I ever get emotional, I'm just gonna spam your angry flaming bowl of anger.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna do 140 characters of that bowl.
Yeah, thank you. No, but seriously, it's a lot. It is messy because that was a breach of privacy, to have your nudes leaked. Had it been any woman or anything, people would lose their fucking shit. Like, how dare you leak this girl's nudes and stuff. There was a celebrity also recently in the past few months.
Chris Evans.
There you go, who had his nudes leaked. And people were losing their minds because it was, again, a breach of privacy. You just don't do that. Right?
Well, Kevin also kind of owned it. He's like, well, now that you've seen it, go vote.
Yeah.
Remember to vote. He ran with it because he is a male celebrity. He's a handsome and very attractive male celebrity. So it's not really going to affect him if he's just cool, I'm going to roll with this. If
Still
he
though.
had like shied away from it, it's like, hey guys, can we not share that around or something like that? I feel really self-conscious about it. I'm sure it would
No.
have been a very different reaction.
Oh no, they'd still do it. That's the thing. Because if someone tells you not to do it, they'll do it. They'll fucking do it.
I mean, it's the internet,
It's
of
the internet,
course.
obviously. But it doesn't matter if he said, "Oh, he owned up to it." It's still a breach of privacy. They should have like that should have never been done. So in
Yeah.
Ryan's situation, I agree. Like that should not have been done to him. Like it really shouldn't. 4chan is a mess. Let me just go ahead and say 4chan is a
Yeah.
fucking mess.
I'm glad I'm not on there.
No, it's a mess. But please, whoever, if y'all are part of 4chan, forgive me. I know the power that you wield. I'm not going to shy away from not knowing the power that you guys wield on 4chan. But still, like,
But
it is,
yeah,
yeah, it's the internet. It happens and it just,
so
mm.
I'm seeing a lot of people calling for Ryan Haywood to be canceled. I'm seeing a lot of people say Achievement Hunter needs to be canceled because
That's
of
dumb.
Ryan. I'm seeing a lot of people say that Rooster Teeth needs to be canceled because of Achievement Hunter because of Ryan
No, I'm
Haywood.
saying that shit's dumb.
I'm seeing people call on Warner Brothers or Warner Productions or whatever it's called. That's the umbrella corporation that owns Rooster Teeth, that owns Achievement Hunter. Um,
Yeah, no, that's just
to
dumb.
like close out Rooster Teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's stuff like that that people get so emotional and so quick to cancel when in all honesty, like, it's no. This was something beyond them. They're a company. Yes,
Yeah,
one of their workers fucked up. However, they fired him or he left. One of those. I think he left and
with
then
him, I think he left.
right. But
I'm sure that
all they
he had to
mentioned
sit down.
I was about to say all they mentioned Rooster Teeth's
Official.
statement.
Oh,
They said that
yes.
they let two people go. So they did
Well, they
leave one go.
parted ways
No, I
with
thought they
two
said that they
employees.
let hold on, let me look at this.
They parted ways. But I think with the Ryan situation, it's really messy because Adam Kovic's nudes were also leaked. And
Mm-hmm.
that's an entire really, really messy situation in and of itself.
Yeah.
But it seems that Adam Kovic did not cheat on his wife, like, again, 4chan and everybody was assuming.
Right,
He
right, right,
just
right.
did really inappropriate things in the work office.
So I guess in that sense, like everyone is, I will say for a lot of people, cancel culture is a very emotional thing. Like an
Yeah.
emotional reaction is to cancel Rooster Teeth or cancel blah blah blah. Ugh,
Do
it's
you
exhausting.
think that cancel culture and is like the knee-jerk reaction um to kick off grief, the stages of grief on the internet?
Well, it's more of I feel this pain. They need to pay for making me feel this way. Does that make sense? Like because so we talked
It
about
would
like
be
we talked about
anger.
fans. Yeah, no, it's like we talked about fans who or stands,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
who truly stand by their whatever their fandom is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the fans, I'll say fans in this case, they're very like you. They try to wait till more information comes out. Yes, they're heartbroken. Yes, they're kind of like still processing. And then you have stans who truly think, "Oh, this is my best friend. This guy saved my life," or like, well, I won't say that, because
Because sometimes
that is a
that
thing. Yeah,
yes, that is a
you can
thing.
save someone's life with the content that you create. But who is like, "This guy was my everything. I did this," and I'm like, "Okay, calm down. I get that you're a stan, but those are the kind of people who also are very quick to be angered or to defend the cancel culture. You know what I mean? If anyone did their fan person fandom wrong, they're going to get on, like, they're going to be on the chopping block. They're going to be canceled. They're going to do this, this, or this, right? For example, we're going back to your Ryan, right? When news of that came out and the victims came forward, were like, yeah, we were the people that he had relations with. Everyone was like, cancel them, cancel them. Oh, or send hate their way, right? Because they couldn't
On
process.
different, I was about to say that on depending on the platform, because I
No,
know
I saw this
Twitter.
on Twitter. I saw this on Reddit. It was just the reason it's hard because they want to be angry at the person who caused, I guess, harm or distress or whatever to the person that they're fans of. Before it takes them a while to process that, oh no, he is a part of the problem as well. You know?
Well, I do have a question for you. 'Cause it's like you're not wrong. There are people that are just like really hating on the people that are coming forward. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
say that they're um I'm not saying that they're not victims. I'm also not saying
Exactly.
like what
But
they
then,
it's like these people that are coming forward with their experiences um are the first girl, like she was getting a lot of hate on
yes.
Twitter
Mm-hmm.
because she had Twitter comments still on,
YouTube
but she
too. I saw the comments on YouTube.
when I first saw it, she did not have the comments turned
Yeah.
on YouTube. So I didn't see any comments on YouTube, but I did see a lot of people on Twitter, not everybody, but a lot of people on Twitter hating on her with the second person that came forward. She came out forward on the Achievement Hunter subreddit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people like the community on Reddit was coming together. It's just like you are very brave for coming forward, things like that. Even people that I'd seen on other comments that it's like I'm a diehard Ryan fan. I support Ryan all the way through. I hope he can get through this. I hope he can
Yes.
rebuild his family, things like that.
Right.
We're not tearing the second person down.
Mm-hmm.
They were very respectful to her. I haven't gotten really into the third one.
I haven't
Um,
either. I haven't either. Again,
right,
I need
so
to
I
see that,
couldn't.
but I haven't.
But one of the comments, one of the first comments I did see on YouTube was that they were commending her for coming forward with her experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
what we're getting at is Twitter's really toxic.
any platform is actually super toxic. It's
Right.
the internet. The internet in
Yeah.
general is toxic.
All right, we
Period.
need more cats. More cats on the inner tubes.
Oh yeah. Publish more
Um,
cats on YouTube. More kitty
more
videos
cats.
on
More kitty
TikTok as
videos.
well. No,
Yes.
the internet in general is toxic. Yes, you're going to have a lot of support. But when talking about cancel culture, it's just focused on canceling. Like it's, oh gosh. It's either cancel in support of, like, cancel this other person in support of their fandom, which again, it just, ugh, gosh, it's just a lot. Cancel culture to drive me crazy sometimes. But I do agree that it's just an emotional reaction. It could be to the
Right.
anger that they feel. It could be to the hurt that they feel. Because, and I hate to say it, but because they were such fans, it feels like a lot of their time was wasted. The person that they look up to as a hero is just as human as you and me. And I think it's hard for them to kind of realize, yeah, they are indeed very human. It's, people put these human characters, not human characters, but human people on pedestals. And you hope, like, oh, this is what I aspire to be, my hero, and all of that. And it turns out they make a very human mistake, because it is a very human mistake. And their view of who they were is completely shattered.
Right.
I saw a tweet though that someone mentioned, is like, the moment the camera turns off on any influencer, on the celebrities, anyone, right? That's then that's only the part that you see. The moment the camera is turned off, they move on to being who you don't see. They're a completely different person.
Schrodinger's celebrity.
Yeah, Schrodinger's celebrity. It just it and that's true. Like, for example, we're here talking about it, right?
Yes.
The moment we turn the camera off, we're two completely different people. Because one, we're not squealing or shouting or raging like we do at work, you know? On our
Yeah.
podcast, we are calm and collected people. Unless we get
We at
into
least try to
try to
pretend
be.
that we're professionals.
Yeah. We really try. However, that's just who we are online. That's how we portray ourselves online. And it will be completely different. Like every people who what they post online is completely different than who they are. It's an outlet for sure. But you're not fully 100% yourself online. Does that make sense?
Like, even it's one of the things that's like we've mentioned it in passing in other podcasts. It's like we talk about this while we're at work. Like, I promise you, if we go into a conversation, like brand new conversation that we've never discussed before, we would be a hot mess.
Oh yeah.
We would be an absolute hot mess. Like,
oh my
we
gosh.
already kind of have our thoughts formed. Mostly, like, we already understand like roughly what each other's opinions are on topics, so we at least know how to feed off each other when we get to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at least more coherent to y'all, because we are, man, are we a hot mess
Oh,
in
yeah.
person.
If there's some news that breaks out, we're like, bitch, did you hear? And we're like, no, what happened? And then we just go off. Oh,
it's like, it's one of those things that's like, she will, like, I usually hear Ricey because she's on Twitter constantly. She's like, I'm like, what?
Because, okay, news to me breaks out on either Twitter or Reddit. That's
Fair.
where I see news break out for me. And mostly Twitter.
Because we're too scared to go to 4chan.
Yeah. My Facebook, I really don't use Facebook because unless it's for family reasons, but I don't really use Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's mostly Twitter and Reddit. And the sources, like, it's just, there's so much. And, I'm going into this rabbit hole to get, like, soak up as much information to kind of process what's going on because I'm a curious person and that's how I, get all of my information. And then I start, like, bitching about it or ranting and raving about it to you.
Yes.
But when we get on the podcast, I'm like, all right, we need to have a schedule of what we need to talk about and, like, make sure we don't go off track because that's exactly what we're doing right now, actually.
What?
I know.
No.
But yeah, that's who we are as people, like, as human as possible,
Right.
And celebrities are just like that. They're human. And I hear a lot of people like, oh, well, because they have a platform or because they're in the limelight, they need to set a certain example and whatever. Listen, they can set a certain example. I'm doing air quotes here. But they're still freaking human. I personally grew up being someone I was not. Like, I had to set an example because I'm a pastor's kid. I'm just going to straight up say it. I'm a pastor's kid.
I mean, we're in the Bible Belt, so one of
Yes.
us probably had to be it.
One out of the two people you know is a pastor's kid.
Or a deacon's kid. Yes. I was not a deacon's kid. I was a deacon's grandkid. My grandfather was a deacon.
No. I was told, as a kid, as a teenager, when I started liking anime and cosplaying, I was told I shouldn't really talk about it at church because the people won't understand, what my hobbies were. Which, like, at the time I was like, well, it doesn't matter. It's my hobbies. But they're like, no, you need to set an example. That's what I heard a lot. You got to set an example to the other children, how to be a good kid. I'm not a fucking good kid. I was, like, super tomboyish. I hated dresses, I loved playing, like, sports and being rough and, like, all of this stuff.
So what you're saying is you're a bad girl.
No, no, I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. I still go to church. Not now, but
I mean,
then,
not.
then,
Please don't go to church during the middle of a pandemic.
yeah, no. But yeah, like it's and I remember setting an example. So anytime I hear, oh, they're celebrities, oh, they're like influencers, they need to set an example. I get that to an extent. However, they're just as human as you and me.
Like
And
that's a lot of pressure.
oh yeah, it's a lot. Like
That's a
I was just a
lot
pastor's
of
kid.
pressure.
Like I was just a little
Right.
nerdy
And
pastor's
your
kid.
church wasn't like huge.
No, my church
It's
was
like it,
tiny. Like my church was
right.
tiny. However, that was a lot of pressure for me.
Right.
But can you imagine the pressures that actual influencers and celebrity have to go to? Like have to go through, excuse me.
Hundreds of thousands, millions of
Oh, yes.
people.
Because once you have influence, once you have fans, once you have viewers, people see you with a critical eye.
Right.
Everything you do is under a microscope. Everything. And and like people will comment about every little thing you do. And I can get like, that would be very tiresome for so many people. Like it's tiring. That's why a lot of people don't want the fame. A lot of people are like, no, I'm just, I did what I needed to do, retire, all of that, just so they can live in a sense of normalcy. That which is why
And
I don't think
that's the toxic part of it. There's
it's
the
very,
counter flip to it that it's just like it goes to their head.
oh, very, oh yeah, very, very much. And so when you have cancel culture, like it's you see everyone bring your shit back into the light to be under a microscope. Every single thing that you do now is under a critical eye, even if it's a mistake. They'll take the mistake and amplify it, even if it has nothing to do with you. I will say, unless it's
Thanks,
like,
my anxiety already does that for me.
yeah, true, but it's like, for example, we're going back to the whole Jenna Marbles thing. That
Yeah.
yes, I mean it was. She made a mistake. Yes, she was like condemned at that time for it. Changed her ways. And then when people were like, oh, we're hitting on Jenna Marbles, here, let's bring back this mistake that she already apologized and changed better for. Whereas Jeffree Star, who keeps making these same mistakes, who says racial slurs and gets away with it, like, that just irks me. And I will say, when I said it has nothing to do with you, when it comes to certain things like that, then yes, I think if you are a person of color, or especially in the Black community, and he says a racial slur, oh no, that has everything to do with you. Because you know what I mean? He's literally saying the one thing he should never ever say into the Black community. And that should never be okay. You know? But aside from that, with the Ryan situation, the whole cheating thing, it has nothing to do with you or me.
Yeah.
And yet people are so quick to cancel him.
Right.
So quick. And that's why that's why cancel culture is such a finicky thing. I personally do think it hurts more than helps. I do think that it helps in the sense of, oh, we now are bringing attention to this certain problematic behavior. But to quickly cancel someone without getting full information, just because it's a heat of a moment thing, just because you're angry or upset or sad or brokenhearted, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. Not until more information comes out, until you get the full scope of everything, then you can be like, oh, you can actually make a good, clear-headed judgment on whether you want to support this person or not. And that's if you want to support this person. I don't think
it doesn't have to have all this fanfare of like rage and hate and things like that. Just walk away. It's as easy as that.
Well, I will
You could
say,
put your energy into something that you actually enjoy. Just walk away.
I will say
Like
from
it bothers people that it would bother me because I'm a Gemini. It bothers me that I don't get answers.
yes.
But it's one of those things I'm like, cool, if it bothers me that I'm not going to get answers, then it probably bothers them that they're not going to get a reason why I left. So bye.
Right.
You can suffer without my reasoning.
Right. But it's also, I will say, I know a lot of people who are upset, that's the only way they can convey it, is through the internet. I will say that because if you don't have a lot of friends to share your fandoms, the internet is a good place to find people who like the same things you do. So it might
And
be easy. Go
that's
ahead.
fair because it's like I used to use Twitter before I had friends like you and Chelsor and like everybody else on my Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I used to use Twitter to scream into the void because I couldn't vent to other
Yes.
people.
Yes. So did I. I used the internet a lot to vent and such. But
But I didn't have followers
oh yeah,
that
no, I
that
didn't have
would
followers.
ripple out to.
Right. But I also one thing about cancel culture, I'll say this before we wrap it up because I know we have to wrap it up soon. One thing I
Oh,
will say about cancel culture is that I do not like that if another person is still in support of the person in the fandom, then everybody else will hate them.
yeah.
We'll use Shane Dawson. Do I think he's problematic? Yes. Did I think did I think that he changed or not as a person? Not that I've seen so far. But my own personal opinion, straight up. However, will I condemn any of his other fans that are still sticking by with him to support him just because they support him? No. No, I'm not. I don't like Jeffree Star. Don't like Jeffree Star. And I said that before in the early part of this podcast. That's on me. I personally don't like him. Will I condemn every one of his fans who still does like him? No. I'm not doing that. I ain't got that time or energy. Bitch, I'm old.
We're
However,
old, we're tired.
yeah. However, I do see a lot of people who condemn his fans or make fun of his fans or like judge his own fans so harshly. And I'm like, if you don't like him, that's on you. That's fine. They still have reasons why they like them, like him. And a lot of his fans actually took a step back and they stopped being his fans and whatever because they themselves their opinions change on who this person is. Your opinions can change. You can
Hey,
always change your opinions.
as
That's the
long as you're
greatest thing.
human, you will change.
Exactly. Nothing ever needs to be set in stone. Good lord. Just like it, and I hate that cancel culture bleeds into that. Well, you're gonna cancel him and sometimes his fans, and I'm like, stop. Just no, no. It's such a toxic thing. Uh, I guess my final thought would be: is cancel culture good or bad? Mm.
I think that would be, and I'm really not going to try and start a new conversation, so try and focus with me, Ricey.
I'll focus.
Um, I think cancel culture is kind of like feminism. Feminism is good in its genuine, true essence.
Yeah.
Um, culture in its true essence, it can be good, but
Right.
because it is the internet and we are human, it can and often does turn very, very toxic.
Yes. Like I said, when it gets to the point where you bring a problem into the light, this problematic behavior into the light, I think that's important. Like, so you can be like, oh, this person said a racial slur, he could be racist. However, unless there's more information, you can't. Well, racism is different because I just don't condone racism. I'm very rough on that. I will say I'm very stubborn when it comes to shit like that. So
You stubborn?
yeah, no, that's why I don't like Jeffree Star. That's like the moment I hear that, oh no, he constantly says racial slurs. No,
Yeah.
no, no. Fuck that shit. So let's go back with Ryan. When someone does like a mistake like that, where it doesn't involve a mass of people, it just involves him and his family and the people that like in his work people, obviously, the company that he's with, and the victims or the other victims.
People that have come forward with their experiences.
Yes. That is more easily where I say, okay, cancel culture is bad because it has nothing to do with us. We as fans can support this person or the company or whatever. However, in that situation, it's bad because it's something that was private that came to
Mm-hmm.
light. The leaked nudes that wasn't supposed to be leaked, that was problematic. And it, of course, brought up another problem, which was him and fans, you know, which, like, I can see everyone is like looking at it in a critical eye. Okay, there's this, you know, popular person who takes advantages of his fans. That's the narrative right now.
That is the narrative for now. Again, we have not heard. I have yet to see a statement from Brian other than him leaving Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. And in that sense, I do think it's bad. I don't think it should be, oh, cancel culture. No, this is something that involves more than just the fans, it's his family and his mistake that he actually is trying to own up to. And I love, again, I'll say this, I love that Rooster Teeth is putting a tight lid on this just so it doesn't get as messy as it's starting to become right now because the fans want the truth and justified. Like, if you're a
Yeah.
fan of this person, you would want the truth, the whole truth, but that's not going to happen. And I get that's why they're angry. So when people come out with these stories, it's hard. I will say it's hard for Rooster Teeth because people will make their own assumptions. They will speculate everything, assume their own things, and then tell themselves that their assumptions is correct. That is not true. It's still just you assuming something. That is not fact, you know? And I think it's harder for fans to understand that because they love or loved this person so much, you know? And also, the story's still unfolding as we speak. And I still do think that more and more stories are going to come out, for sure. It's just going to be, I don't know if it's going to be as clean as it was or if it's going to end up being very, very messy. All this time will tell. And I know cancel culture is going to be right there. Oh my God, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
so quick to cancel this person.
Right.
Anyway, those are my final thoughts. What are yours? Because I know this is a very important topic for you.
An important topic to actually have a sit down discussion about.
Yes,
Because if you don't talk about things, things get out of hand.
very much.
I feel like cancel culture is kind of like the new age hunt,
The new age what?
witch hunt,
Oh, yes.
where
Oh, yeah.
where it's just like, oh, you're a witch, or you're a pedo. Like everyone wants to call, and I'm gonna try and stay on topic, so make sure I stay on topic, Ricey.
Okay.
So everyone like wants to claim it's like, oh, they're a pedophile if they have relations with anyone under the age of 18.
Right.
Again, I have opinions about that because there is
Yes.
a major difference between pedophilia and hebophilia,
Right. I know.
and it's just
Go ahead.
it's like, oh, you're an abuser, oh, you're a racist, oh, you're this, you're that, and it's just like, they're not looking for evidence. They're just going on the accusations that
Yes.
they're a witch.
True. That is absolutely true. I will agree to that.
And
And
it's a lot of women, mainly women, were hurt very, very badly because of the witch hunt.
oh yeah.
There's many, and men were affected too. And I need people. I when I say I need people, I need to also hold myself accountable. That it's like I need to wait and see what evidence comes to light.
Yes.
Does it really pertain to me? Because if it doesn't, then I may need to like walk away and not allow this
The drama.
drama that again doesn't include me
Mm-hmm.
to pull me in. I need to walk away from it.
I know it's hard because you are such a fan of these things, and you put a lot of time and your love, and that's never they're never going to take that away. The emotion you felt at that time. It's going to be different, and I think that's what hurts fans the most is like their favorite person is no longer going to be there for them.
I think it's their favorite idol is
Oh
flawed.
yes. Oh yes. And it's going to be rough to move on without their idol there. And I
Right.
know I'm a fan of a lot of people.
Yeah. Same.
Okay, I will say I recently got hurt with the whole situation with a fellow streamer, or not a fellow streamer, but with a streamer um that I was fans for years. We'll just go with that.
Years.
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 Very much years.
And, like I was a fan for him for a while too, but I didn't follow him
Oh, I
for
followed
like as
him.
long as you.
Yeah. I won't drop any names because we have to wrap up anyway, and this is the thing. So
Right.
I felt that pain. I felt the pain you felt, which is why when I heard about it, I immediately was like, "Are you okay?" Because as a fan, you don't want them to be like you want them to be good people. You strive for them to be like, "Oh, I hope these are good people." And when you find
And
out they're just as flawed as you,
right.
it hurts.
It does. And it's like for me, Ryan, like Ryan's there. Ryan's a physical person. I actually got to meet Ryan in February and I actually made him something and gave him something. I made something for Jeremy as well because Jeremy was there. I
Yeah.
gave them each something. And that was like a lot of like I'm a crafter, so like a lot of my heart goes into the things that I create and
Yes.
craft. So that hurts. While with you, this person has never
I bought the
ever
merch.
been. I know you bought the merch, so
I
it's
bought
like
some merch.
I do get it. Like I have Achievement Hunter merch. I have Rooster Teeth merch. I do, but it's like with your person again. We're not really trying to drop names because that's a whole.
That's a whole can of worms we're not going to open right now.
But yours, it's like no one has ever met them. They
No.
never really like. It's almost again this persona online.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still you could still meet the group that he plays with, and that was
Right.
also very important. And I still follow them as well on Twitch. But
And
like, yeah,
he's not like this AI character
no,
that
no,
is
no.
like or
Oh,
like AI
VTuber, the VTuber. Yeah, no.
He is a person. We know he's a person, but
Right.
it's just like there's more. He's
It's a
held
little
himself
complex.
at more of an arm's length
Yes.
to his fans
Yes.
than.
Not anymore that we see, but yes. But we won't get into that. I will say this was a very difficult topic. I personally do have a lot of opinions on cancel culture because I do think cancel culture is not it's toxic. There is a very
Right.
very fine line that you can cross between
Yes.
actually helping someone and then diving into a toxic thing. And that line is very fine. And it's
And
so
we're
easy to
humans. It's
tip
really
over.
easy for us to cross that
Oh
line
yeah, I was about
too.
to say it's so easy to tip the scales on that. Like so easy.
Like
But
I've had to turn to you a lot this week. I'm just like I'm like it's really hard not to just jump in
Oh
and
yeah.
just
Oh yeah. Because I mean, it's drama. You want to soak up as much information, even though that information may not be true. But you just at least have something, to go by, which is hard as a fan. But all in all, I personally don't like. I just have mixed feelings with cancel culture. I really do. I think unless a lot more information comes to light, we can't be quick to judge. And that's hard because we're in the digital age where everything is literally at our fingertips and we can process a lot of information so quickly, Hmm. I don't know. I personally from thinking back of what I said about cancel culture, it's I don't like it, but I also understand. Oh, it's so hard. But you, final thoughts? I mean, we already said final thoughts, but
yeah, well, like final post rambling thoughts.
there's so many rambling thoughts.
And yeah, this is why we kind of practice what we're going to talk about to each other, because this is what happens. We'll
Yes.
just go
Yeah.
and be
And
gone
we
and be
just
free with our conversation.
yes.
Um, no, I think that's it. I just think that it's just like it's just gonna take time. Like depending on what happens, maybe we will have a follow up to this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Like I know with your person, it's been radio silence for a couple of months at
Mm-hmm.
this point, and
I'm
you're
to be
still
honest.
waiting.
Well, no, I'm not waiting. I'm kind of glad that it's a like quiet. I
Right,
mean, because now at this point, it's gone to illegal. They're doing it's
right.
they're so I have to wait. Like I'm not gonna expect
And
any
it's like,
news
well,
anytime soon.
yeah, it's like a walk away waiting game. It's like a
Yes.
watched pot doesn't boil, so it's like you're walking away now to see what's gonna happen legally, since it,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it has gone to the appropriate authorities and things.
Yeah.
Mine is still unfolding with Ryan Haywood. I'm still like seeing it. Like we weren't sure if it was going to be an isolated incident with Ryan or what. More and more people are coming out.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Ryan's going to make an actual statement at this point,
Mm-hmm.
or not.
I
Like we don't
honestly,
even know
I was
if
about to
it's going
say,
to go to a court of law.
yeah, because there's not
So
enough information to go by, so you really don't know.
right,
I do hope though that it's. I really hope that it can still be kind of closed tightly, like and clean. I just don't want it to get messy because once it's messy, the fans will take it and will make it even messier. And I don't want that. I want everyone. I want people to process the truth. Just be a little patient to do so. But again, that's just me as an biased outside, no, well, unbiased outsider looking in. That's just how I think. Because it's already starting to get a little messy. Oh, I shudder. But yeah, that's everything for today. We will
yep,
continue next week at 11, right?
yeah.
Hopefully we'll talk
Wait,
about
are
it.
we sure? Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
you're good for a couple of weeks. I know you have something
Yes.
planned in a
I
couple of
do.
weeks.
I'm going to be fine for this next week, but the following week I will not be here. Um but yeah, so everything seems like that was it. Hopefully we'll go on to a brighter topic next week. This was a very heavy topic, which I do think it needed to be said. Like we needed to talk about something heavy like this, and I'm glad we did. I'm very very happy that we did. But yeah, that's everything. You
Like
want to say bye?
yourself.
Huh? Oh right. You can find me. I'm a bowl of ricey. You can find me on Twitter, a bowl of ricey, and what else? Oh, my cosplay page. I have a cosplay Instagram, Bessel's Cosplay. But yeah, you can just find me there, mostly on Twitter. Also, this is a very important. We actually have a
Or
Twitter account. We need to plug ourselves in. What the fuck are we doing? We have a Twitter account now. What's Your Opinion
Yeah.
Podcast? So if you're interested in seeing what we are going to talk about next week, we normally post our topics beforehand, especially if there's something that literally like engages us. And we'll just kind of shoot the shit on What's Your Opinion Podcast. So check us out on
Yee.
Twitter. And Abby, do you want to plug yourself in?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I think I got a Facebook. I'm around, all of it's Abmiki ABMIKIRII. Some things may have a space, some things may have an underscore. I don't know. I'm here. I'm
just
I'm
here.
awake. I'm existing through 2020, like everybody else.
We're just vibing. That's all we're trying to do is just vibe.
All we're trying to do. But
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just around. I'm here. I'm existing. I'm just a marshmallow.
Oh my god.
I'm a blanket blob.
But yeah, go follow us there, and we will see you guys next week. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.